of my structure of my presentation will be like this. Means just I will explain you my own journey after completion of my post graduation in management. When I was 18, at that time I had decided that I will work with the trade unions, and after that decision I did my management, and then I started working with Maniben Kar Research Institute, which is the which is the research organization of one of the central trading organizations, that is HMS, Hind Mazdoor Sabha. So at that time, I started working with Bagaram Tulpule and various other socialist leaders, and for about 10 years, 12 years, I was working with this organization. And during that time, I got an opportunity to visit various countries because I was doing number of projects on behalf of ILO. So that's the reason I visited number of countries like Switzerland, Italy, Germany, then Sweden, Denmark, Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Indonesia, and so on. So various European countries, Scandinavian countries, and Asian countries. And I got an opportunity to visit various shop floors of those countries and met number of managements and unions in those countries. And at the same time, my other journey was going on, that is in Mumbai. So I was working with number of unions in Mumbai, like Blue Star Union, Siemens Union, NOSIL Union, Voltage, and so many unions in Mumbai. And at the same time, textile workers. 1996, I realized that something is going wrong, and then I had gone into the process of Chintan and Manan. Again, I read Kant, again, I read Hegel, Habermas, and so on. And at the same time, I got an opportunity to learn Indian philosophy, that is Bhartiya Darshan, that I did in Y near Pune in Guru Shishya Parampara. So, why I'm telling all these things, because then I realized that what is the issue. The issue is that as a society, our base is grace, and there are societies like Sweden, German, their base is glory. So the grace means जो कुछ करने वाला है भगवान करेगा, and glory means I am the creator, मैं निर्माता हूँ. I'm not taking a position that whether grace is good or bad or glory is good or bad, but this is it. But the logical outcome of grace is emotions, and logical outcome of glory is rationality. If you will see around in our society, everything is based on emotions. हम आप कहे कौन दिल वाले दुल्हनिया, साथ भी कभी बहुत ही, घर घर की कहानी, राम जन्मभूमि, बाबरी मस्जिद, एंड सो ऑन. हमारा अर्थकारण, राजकारण, समाजकारण, everything is based on emotions. But answers are not in emotions, answers are in rationality. And that's the reason I realized that there is a need to create a new path, especially for India. And that path is respecting the emotions of the people but taking them towards rationality. That may be the path. And that's the reason I started, means I left Mumbai and came to Pune, because I realized that more or less Mumbai trade union movement is more or less gone. So let us experiment and let us work where the emerging manufacturing units are there. And that's the reason I shifted from Mumbai to Pune and started working in Pune. At initial stage, I started working with union called Thermax Union, then Sandvik, Alpha Laval, Atlas Copco, and over a period of time, I started working with more than 200 unions in Pune region and around Pune, like Baramati, Ranjangaon, Jejuri, Daun, and so on. And I once I started working with this organization, we have done number of experiments. We have gone for various kind of innovation in the field of industrial relations. But I don't want to go into that now. The basic issue as on today, I will focus on that and what will be the overall scenario. There are a lot of misconceptions, even among the economists, even among the highly qualified people, they consider that the situation in the unorganized sector is bad and the situation in organized sector is very good. But I will try to show you the picture of organized sector, and I hope that that realization must come that even in the organized sector, there is no much difference between unorganized sector and the organized sector. And that's the reason I'm sharing some of my slides with you, and then we will have a discussion on this. Can everybody see?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
See, just this is just a macro level scenario. In last 5 years, one can see that GDP growth has been declined from 8% to 4%. I'm talking about before Corona. After Corona, the scenario is different. I don't want to go into that. At the same time, capacity utilization has been declined significantly. If you see, before Corona, the capacity utilization was hardly in manufacturing, it was hardly 55%. Then saving rate has been declined. At one point of time, India's saving rate was good, but it has also been declined. Investment also declined, and banking sector was in trouble. This just I'm trying to even the decline in export and import growth. The export growth has been declined from 20% growth before 6 years. It was 20% growth. It has came down to around 0%. It doesn't mean that export has been declined, but the rate of growth in export has been declined. Then another aspect is we have means if you take the data of last several years, so you will find that we are spending hardly 1% on health and not more than 2% in education. So these are the figures which I am giving. They once I will finish all this presentation, then I will argue about all these aspects. What is the relevance as a society? Relevance of all this data as a society. If you will see, it's a very interesting observation. I have means now I am going to show you the data of 143 companies, but all these companies, another interesting facts which I got it that the job creation in the category of 20,000 to 50,000 is top. Whatever the job creation is there, it may be around 10,000 to 12,000, or it will be more than 1 lakh rupees per month. So that kind of scenario you can see in mostly organized sector. Unemployment has been increased, that there is no need to talk about it. And underemployment is the major issue, because most of the time we are talking about employment and unemployment. We are not talking about underemployment. And in India, the major problem is underemployment and not just unemployment. Consistent reduction in demand because no purchasing power. Why there is no purchasing power, that I will explain afterwards. Generally, it has been said that 92% are in the unorganized sector and 8% are in the organized sector. Now that organized sector is also shrinking, and even in this organized sector, what is the scenario in terms of employment that we are going to see? Then see, the thing is that exist means you can correct me, but whatever the data which I have received, the top 1% population having 58% wealth. In US, it is 42%. So we are worse than even US, I mean, in terms of disparity. Top 10% population having 80.7% wealth, and in US, it is 57.6. Rest 90% population having 19.3% wealth. In US, it is 42%. So the basically, and if you take the bottom line, means that bottom 10% population, it is minus 0.7. Next 10% is minus 0.2, and next 10% is only 0.5%. It means that the lower strata of the population, that is 30%, having only 0% wealth. Why I'm talking about all these aspects, that we will come to know after. And then when we are talking about organized sector, 70%, that statistics and data I'm going to show you. But even NSS, National Sample Survey data, is showing that 67% families having an income less than 10,000 rupees per month. When we are talking 10,000, it means that there are number of families whose income is hardly 4,000, 5,000 or 6,000 rupees. Then hunger index, happiness index, malnutrition, all these aspects, I think that all of you are aware about it. And NCRB data, National Crime Report Bureau, now is showing, earlier we were talking about the suicide of farmers, but now because of loss of job, low paid job and unemployed youth, their number is much more than the farmers' suicide. So this is a eye opener for all of us. It's not means earlier everybody was talking about the farmer suicide, but now there is a shift from farmer suicide to the unemployed youth and low paid job and the loss of job. Because of that, the suicide cases are increasing, and that data is now we can see which has been published by NCRB. Now we are coming to the real picture. What I did, I taken 143 companies in Pune and around Pune. In this sample, there are multinationals and there are big national companies. And you will find that out of 1,45,842 number, this is the employment figure, that is 1,55,842. This is the employment in this 143 company, of which 27% are permanent, contract workers are 28%, temporary are 10%, trainees are 7%, earn and learn, there is a scheme called earn and learn introduced by Government of Maharashtra. And then NEEM, that is National Employability Enhancement Mission. This scheme has been introduced by Government of India at central level. And apprentice, as per the Apprentice Act. So you will find that only 27% are permanent and 73% are non-permanent. When I'm talking about non-permanent, means there is a flexible manpower. 73% flexibility is already there. And we are talking about, this is the situation before the labor law reform. So there is no relevance of labor law reform, that is already been done. So there is already been that flexibility. There is no such kind of restrictions to any industry. And now I will show you, the issue is not whether they are permanent or non-permanent. The issue is that the wages, the permanent workers' average wage is 38,270 rupees per month, and the non-permanent, it is 10,583. The ratio within working class, the same kind of work, the permanent workers are doing the same work like the contract labor. Means the same work contract workers are doing, but they are paid only 10,563 and permanent workers are paid 38,270. The weighted average comes to around 18,000 rupees. So the question is not about the flexibility. Under the name of flexibility, there is a exploitation. And 73% working class is getting exploited under the name of flexibility. Now, I will just give you the case study. In Sobha Developers in Bangalore, there were 15,000 contract workers. and their labor cost was 18%, and the wages were 7,000 rupees per month. Whatever the minimum wages was there at that time, this was the situation before 5 years. So there I did the experiment, and that's the first experiment in the country. I increased their wages from 7,000 rupees to 17,000. 10,000 rupees wage increase to the contract labor, and labor cost came down from 18% to 12%. So the learning is there is a difference between labor rate and labor cost. There is a difference between material rate and material cost, energy rate and energy cost. But most of the time, our focus is on the rate and not on the cost. For competitiveness, cost is more important than the rate. But all HR community, HR manager, they focus only on rate. कम पैसा देना है, कम पगार वाले रखना है, जितना कम से कम दे सकते हैं उतना देने का वो प्रयास करते हैं. And because of that, what is the situation? Even in the organized sector, 70% workers are either trainee, temporary, casual, contract. This is a flexible manpower. But the most important aspect is that they are getting 11 to 12,000 rupees per month, of which because for last 5 years, I made a point that every month I visit one contract labor house, and I spend whole day with them just to see what kind of how they live, what is their living condition, what kind of expenses they are making, and all that kind of thing. Now you can imagine, if I am getting 12,000 rupees per month, 4,000 to 5,000 is the minimum rent for the room. And if you will take husband, wife, and 2 children, after this rent, how much is left? So it comes to 40 rupees per day per person. In 40 rupees, what kind of education he will give to his children, and what kind of food he will give to his children? Because there also there is a privatization. Education is not free. Earlier, education, good quality education, you were getting free of charge. But now you have to pay for that also. So what kind of education you will give to your children, their children, and what kind of food they are going to give to their children? It means that we have created a factory of creating a society which will be physically weak and mentally weak. And this will be the future labor supply for this country. And we are talking about Mahasatta. Abhi Mahasatta kaise bante hain mujhe मालूम nahi hai. But I can see that such kind of scenario is there. Means we are creating a generation which will be physically weak and mentally weak. And with such kind of manpower, how we are going to make progress? That's a fundamental question for me. Now I will just give these two companies. If you are interested, I will mention the name if you are interested. So this is one of the topmost multinational in the world. The figures which I am showing you now, this is the top 10 multinational in the world. This is German multinational, but this multinational comes under top 10 companies in the world. Now, this is the scenario of this top 10 companies. Permanent management staff is 351. Permanent workers are 188, of which unionized is 170. So that is permanent workers are 7%. And NEEM, that is National Employability Scheme, that is NEEM trainee. But all these trainees are doing the same work like permanent workers. So they are 66%. Apprentice is only 1%, and contract labor is 11%. Now, here, all this NEEM trainee, they are paid 10 to 11,000 rupees per month. And they are in the automobile breakthrough. I mean, they are producing brake system. So this is the scenario of topmost multinational company. Now I will give you one of the big national company, that is Mahindra and Mahindra. Management staff 1210, permanent 2,360, NEEM training 3,712. All these training are there for last 5 years. Oh. They are 5 years they are training. They are giving the same productivity like permanent worker. On the contrary, sometimes they are giving more than the permanent worker. And the contract workers are 1,157. Now, such kind of situation is there of the means, and you can see the overall picture, and this is the concrete two companies picture. So the most important aspect is this is the situation. Now future scenario, this is the existing situation. Future scenario is that you can just see the 4 trends that are, because due to less time I will not go into details, but just try to see 4 aspects. Number 1 aspect, at present at global level the capital is available at hardly 1% rate of interest. This is trend number 1. Second, robo prices have drastically came down. The robo which were the price of robo was around 2 crores at one point of time.
Sorry to interrupt, Arvind ji. The slide is after Corona, so you'll have to change the slide, perhaps.
Yes. Okay. I'm talking about Industry 4.0. Is it okay? Huh. So the basically first trend is rate of interest drastically came down. Now at global level the capital availability at 1% or 2% rate of interest. That is number 1. Robo prices have drastically came down. This is second aspect. The softwares of artificial intelligence is more or less free. This is third aspect. And fourth aspect is electricity, the energy. At one point of time the cost of solar energy was around 18 rupees per unit. Now it came down to 1.80, that is around 2 rupees, and the future projection will be around 10 to 15 paisa per unit will be the cost of solar. So all these aspects if you will see, then definitely there will be a shift from existing scenario to future in a high level of technology. And I will give you the concrete example. In Thermax Chinchwad plant, 400 workers were producing 300 chillers. Now they have set up a plant in nearby Sri City, that is a border of Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. There the 80 workers are producing 800 chillers. Earlier scenario, 400 workers, 400 employees were producing 300 chillers. Now new scenario, 80 employees are producing 800 chillers. So because that plant that plant is totally based on artificial intelligence, robotics, IoT, and so on. So robotic welding is there. Robo can read the design. Robo can do welding. The rejection rework is more or less 0. उसको व्हाट्सएप देखना नहीं पड़ता है, उसके वाइफ का फोन भी नहीं आता है. He is available 365 days, 24 hours, and so on. But this is the scenario, and that's the reason there may be a possibility as a society there may be a shift from job security to income security, maybe because now a lot of debate and discussions are going on about universal minimum income. So people may get income but may not get the job. That is the union as an institution is becoming more and more irrelevant. And if they don't change, the chances are very less. The influence of trade union will be more or less 0. Because the issue is that unions have restricted themselves only for wage increase. They have not talked about health, they have not talked about education, they are not talking about any other aspect of our life. There means it is unfortunate, but it's a fact that they restricted themselves only for wage increase. After every 3 years, they were signing a settlement, going for wage increase, but they are not focused on other aspects of the society. And uh, what is the root cause? I think that the economic model is maybe the root cause. मार्केट इज नॉट द प्रॉब्लम, लेकिन जो बाजार व्यवस्था जिस प्रकार से खड़ी है, उसमें जिस प्रकार से हमारा एक्सप्लॉयटेशन हो रहा है, आई थिंक दैट हैज टू बी एड्रेस, एंड दैट्स द रीजन what is to be done is the question, and that's the reason what I'm talking about. Organizing workers will be difficult because टेक्नोलॉजी इज गोइंग टू, वर्कर ही नहीं रहेगा तो यूनियंस कहाँ जाएगा. सो द इट विल बी वेरी डिफिकल्ट टास्क टू ऑर्गेनाइज वर्कर, बट ऑर्गेनाइजिंग कंज्यूमर्स एंड प्रोड्यूसर्स through cooperative will help of high level of technology. Due to high level of technology, it may be possible. Means, for example, what I will talk about our cooperative after, means within, I will try my best to explain within 5 minutes. But union frame, what is the existing union frame? It became a very small, and moving towards broader frame is the need of the hour. But it is unfortunate that they are not moving towards that. They are not talking about education. They are not talking about health. They are not talking about technology. I mean, upgradation of their skill. They are talking about only wage increase. So that's the reason the chances of and this is not the only issue in India. This is now, if you will see, the density of trade union in Germany has been drastically came down. At one point of time, I think that 5 years before it was 33%. Now it came down to 17 to 18%. Same thing is happening in Sweden. Same thing happening in other Scandinavian countries, and the density of trade union is coming down drastically in I mean in all the countries. And same is going to happen, or it is happening in India. If you will see the density of trade union in India, it has been drastically. Even in the organized sector, I have shown you what is the situation. Hardly 30% people are the part of union. 70% workers are out of the trade union. So bringing people on one platform to cooperative platform with the help of high level technology may be a bigger frame. That is my assumption. And because of technology, I think that the cooperative which we have developed, that is SAYAS, this is a platform cooperative. This is the first of its kind in the world. So what is this? We are not at initial stage, we are focusing only on 5 to 6 aspects. What are those aspects? So at present, the consumption pattern of the people has already been changed. At one point of time, whatever income you were getting, major portion was going on food items, then kirana and various other aspects. But now the consumption pattern has been changed. Most of the portion is going on paying the installment of the loans, paying insurance premium, vehicle premium, and various other kind of insurances, then mobile phone bill, and Tata Sky, and then OTT platform like Netflix and so on. So the basically your major portion of your income is going into such kind of things. So what we are trying to do, for example, we succeeded to achieve 6.2 rate of interest on housing loan. The state bank rate of interest is 6.7. We have achieved 6.2. We collaborated with the one of the cooperative bank in Thane and came out with such kind of proposal. Then same we in cable services, people can save around 2,000 rupees. So the in short, the model is like this. You become a member of this cooperative, and save around 20 to 30,000 rupees at initial stage yearly. So that is the overall model. The issue is not the saving money. The issue is that how we can reduce the exploitation due to market. जो बाजार व्यवस्था है उसमें का शोषण हम कैसा कम कर सकते हैं, दैट इज द फंडामेंटल क्वेश्चन. बिकॉज if there is a exploitation at industry level, so employer and union and workers, that area number of people have worked upon. Then because of political aspect, whatever the exploitation is there, that's another aspect. But in market, the exploitation, because one of my friend is producing Colgate, he is getting hardly 10 rupees for that Colgate, and we are buying as a customer at 70 rupees. Big Bazaar and DMart are saying that we are giving it in 50 rupees. So we are giving 20 rupees concession. But the facts are 10 rupees the producer is getting and consumer is getting 70 rupees or 50 rupees. So where the money is going? So the basically because of various aspects, the exploitation is taking place. And to address this, we have set up this cooperative. I think that half an hour is over. If there is any question, definitely now let us focus more on discussion rather than presentation. I think that I will stop sharing. Okay. Now
I'll first let me invite Mr. Balwankar to make his comments.
So Shatri, thank you very much for very good presentation and very good statistic you presented it to us. All these issues are definitely there. Industry is facing this issue, and as you said, exploitation is also happening in the industry. And what I have seen, there are a lot of people are not many Indian companies, but the companies which are coming from abroad, Japanese and German, and they're investing in India. They are investing in automation. And they are paying good salary to the highly skilled as well as not highly skilled, semi-skilled people, very good salaries. And there, the people who got an opportunity to work in such organization, their life is very good. I can say only that. But as you said rightly, overall capacity utilization is going down and is declining, and people are taking the advantage of the government schemes like NEEM and all those things, and that's why they're trying to reduce their labor costs. But I think that's not the solution. The real, as you said rightly, the investment must go up, whether it is in automation or it is in the human skill development or quality improvement of the products and research and development. And this investment, if it goes up, all entire society will get developed, and then India can really make a progress toward this Mahasatta or whatever you call world-class companies. So the real issue is how we can address this, but this automation and all these things are going to be the way of life in future. Yeah. We can't avoid that. And as you said, this example what you gave, that 400 people making 300 chillers and 80 people making many more than what they used to make. And this is the way of the life, and this is how the industry is changing. The real issue is that we have so many manpower, how we can develop, how we can train them, make employable, and how we can make their life much better than what is today, as on today, is the real issue. It's not only industry issue, but it's a social issue. And I think government is also not having any solution in front of them, or this is the problem faced all over the world, I think. And even German, I have a lot of German friends, and this, they are also, they are losing their jobs. They don't know how to do it. But what I have seen in Twin Engineers, if you're open for the change, what is happening around us, and you are really sensitive to the changes happening around us, then that is the only way to really survive and grow the companies. First thing is the survival is an issue. And then comes the growth, and growth will come to the technology, adapting the new technologies, new way of working, new way, style of training the people and developing the people, and that is how this you can really grow the company and survive the company. That is my experience. I thought I shared with whatever I learned from you and with my experience so far. That is my thinking. I hand it over to Dr. Dupatkar.
Thank you.
Just I will make small comment. What you are saying, it is full. For last 5 years, I am conducting 15 days course for Chinese unions and Chinese management and Chinese government representative on behalf of ILO in Turin, in Italy. Now, what is that? Whatever I have given you the example of Soma developers where I have increased the wages and reduced the labor cost and made more competitive. Now, as a country, they are moving towards that. If you will see the data of last 5 years in China, they have increased their wages drastically. So they are creating a domestic market, and we are doing exactly opposite. Now that is the question. We are doing exactly opposite by keeping 70%. Okay, you can have a flexibility. I'm not saying that in dynamic economy permanence is not possible. Let us agree. But flexibility doesn't mean exploitation. How this has not been understood by the Indian management and the government. I think that is the crux of the problem. You can pay better and you can be more competitive. There may be a possibility. Is such kind of possibilities there? Let us explore that. That is the question. And this is one aspect. And second is that what you are basically, you have said correctly, technology means all these things are going to happen. Nobody can oppose it. But what is to be done? And this is the real question. In such kind of situation, what is the answer? And we have to explore, try to explore such kind of answer. So I think that lot of work is already going on. What kind of, but the things are coming like this. 100 jobs will go, but 30 to 40 jobs will come. But still there will be the issue of unemployment. That whatever the analysis I have done, so that is the overall conclusion.
Right.
If in future, if it will get better, I don't know.
Right. Now, Arvindji, let me welcome in our midst Mr. Kashinath Nakate. He has joined a little late, but Kashinath ji is the secretary of Maharashtra Hawkers Federation, as I mentioned, and he has organized 3,000 hawkers in Pimpri-Chinchwad area.
Yeah.
And he has managed also to organize the construction workers and the domestic workers in Pimpri-Chinchwad area, which is the industrial city in Pune.
Yeah.
And I had an opportunity to work with Kashinath ji in providing some relief to families of affected hawkers during the Corona period. And recently we also worked for distributing Diwali packs to about 100 domestic workers. And Kashinath ji represents Working People's Charter, which is a platform of 150 organizations working for the unorganized workers. So Kashinath ji, आपका स्वागत है. और आप थोड़ी लेट आए हैं, लेकिन आप अभी थोड़ा वर्किंग पीपल्स चार्टर के बारे में थोड़ा बोल दीजिए. हमारे लोग साथियों को आप थोड़ा वर्किंग पीपल्स चार्टर के बारे में बताइए.
हाँ, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आप सबका. नमस्ते सबको, जिंदाबाद. और वर्किंग पीपल्स चार्टर देश का लेवल पे अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर और ऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर के मजदूर लोगों का समस्या, मजदूर लोगों के लिए सोशल सिक्योरिटी, किमान समान वेतन, उसका हेल्थ और बाकी का जो सोशल सिक्योरिटी है उसके ऊपर काम करने वाला एक नेटवर्क है. अभी हैदराबाद में कुछ दिन पहले बड़ा सम्मेलन हो गया, उसमें 22 स्टेट्स का लोग उसमें सहभागी हुआ था. इसका ऑफिस दिल्ली और बॉम्बे में है. तो बहुत अच्छा काम चल रहा है. अभी जो लेबर कोड बिल बनाया सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने, और उसके बाद में स्टेट गवर्नमेंट बना रहा है, तो उसका जो कानून के साथ में जो 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 उसका
Rule.
मजदूर का, हाँ, रूल्स और जो स्कीम बन रहा है, उसके ऊपर सजेशन ऑब्जेक्शन भेज दिया है अभी। और मछुआरों को लेकर, कंस्ट्रक्शन वर्कर से लेकर हॉकर्स, ये सब जो मजदूर वर्ग है अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर के, उनके लिए काम करता है। और जहां जहां जरूरत पड़े वहाँ सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट, और जरूरत पड़ने के बाद में ये, हाँ, सुप्रीम कोर्ट में भी और हाई कोर्ट में भी बहुत सारे केसेस ये मजदूर के ऊपर किया है। अभी जो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट मजदूर लोगों का, अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर के लोगों का सर्वेक्षण का और ई श्रम कार्ड का जो प्रोसेस चल रहा है, उसमें मुझे लगता है कि वर्किंग पीपल चार्टर ने बहुत बड़ा सहभाग लिया था। तो आपसे जुड़ के कुछ बातें रख के मुझे बहुत खुशी हुई, और आगे बोलते जाएंगे। थैंक यू।
Thank you, Kashinath ji. Now, if anyone wants to make any comments, Mr. Ahmad Karim has put some remarks in the chat box. So, Ahmad, would you like to state?
Yeah, I thought firstly that this was a remarkable presentation, and thank you so much for, such a deep, insight with all your sort of facts and figures. This really gives me, helps me kind of get a pulse of how the way in which direction and where things are moving, which seems to be increasingly towards, a kind of a ruthless kind of, cost cutting, saving pennies at whatever cost kind of a thing. And of course we have, the corona and the crisis to sort of add a sense of justification for this whole thing, saying that, the whole world is in crisis, so, everybody is doing it. It is legitimate, it's valid, because it's put survival of companies. But I feel, somewhere overwhelmingly the survival of the company has become an overwhelmingly large sort of factor, and survival of workers or people has somehow diminished. That I feel the balance has gone completely on the side of organizations and companies, where earlier at least there was some degree of better balance between the two. Now everything can be justified in terms of survival of the organization or the business, which to me is a little distressing. But that's the way it is. That's how things are. So
Yeah,
thank you very
but-
much. Yeah.
But let me add to what Ahmad is saying. Arvind ji, the point is that you have painted the current picture and the distant future. But what happens in the immediate future is that if unemployment increases, and if education remains in private hands, and if health also remains in private hands, a large proportion of unemployed people will be thrown out of education as well as health, access to health.
Yeah.
So that immediate future is a very disturbing scenario. I'm just adding to what Ahmad has said.
Yeah.
What do you say needs to be done in the immediate future?
See, for example, there are some kind of possibilities. Means, for example, now in our cooperative, all self-help group, Anganwadi Sevika and Asha worker are joining our cooperative. Now, in such kind of what kind of services we can give it to such kind of people? So we have developed a Mediclaim scheme, which is on the premium of this scheme is only 500 rupees per annum, which covers husband, wife, and 3 children. So what is this scheme? This scheme will cover, because most of these people are taking the treatment in the government hospital. But in government hospital, the problem is that this medicine is not available. You have to buy it from outside. This medicine is not available. You have to take it from outside. This test is not possible here. You have to do it from outside. So they have to spend 7 to 8,000 or 10,000 rupees from their own pocket. And it is very difficult for them to even arrange 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 rupees. So such kind of expenses will be covered under this scheme, and for that only 500 rupees is the premium for 5 people in this family, husband, wife, and child. So the basically some kind of support and help can be given to such kind of people. That is number one aspect. In education, definitely you are the best person to suggest something for the education. But on health aspect, we have already submitted a scheme, and we hope that within a 1 month or 2 months time, we will get the sanction of that scheme. So this is only one aspect I can just say, and there are number of aspects we can do through this cooperative. Basically, the thing is that we are expecting that within a period of 1 year or 2 year, our membership may go more than 25,000, 25 lakhs. As on today, it is around 13 to 14,000 rupees. 13 to 14,000 members already be enrolled in only 1.5 months. So, but in future, a lot of people are going to join this cooperative, and we can give best services to such kind of.
See, right, as this Amazon example says, Amazon is spending 1.5 crore, and the same person is charging 2.5 crore to Indian company or Indian social organization. And what I have seen, similar case, what I have seen in my native place recently I visited, all old houses have been diminished, and entirely new village has converted into a really small town. You know?
Okay.
So that kind of positive changes are also happening, and
Yes.
I've seen healthcare available. When I was a child and when I was growing in my village, there were only 2 doctors. Now there are 20 doctors,
Yeah.
you know, and very good hospitals, and education is also available nearby, and everything is there is a good change also happening around us.
Yes,
So,
sir, because of technology, the health aspect can be taken care of. Means because of artificial intelligence and because of technology, even the health system can be, we can extend at even remote place. That is
no,
also
my one more point was that, you know, even the people are getting good recently fairly good job in the villages also. You know,
Yeah.
this hospitals, this nurses, sisters may not be very highly educated, but they're able to survive and have a comfortable life. So this, as you said rightly, this organized sector and small companies, the labor issues, and these are also there in cities and towns. But if you see that the other picture of what is happening in villages and all that, these villages are also growing, and they are having comfortable life. So both the systems are happening, and there are a lot of social organizations coming to educate the people also. So the system will get balanced. That is my point. You know, automatically the system will get balanced. There will not be very big chaos in the organization because of this decline and these changes happening. So let's be hopeful that these changes will bring and take the country forward. That's all what I wanted to say. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
At the same time, you know, sorry, go ahead.
No, but the thing is that, Mr. Bhalwankar, what you are saying, it is, I fully agree with that. Means it's not the thing is that everything is negative is happening. Number of positive things are also happening. But the question is that policy is also going to play a very important role. Means we are not talking about social security. We are not talking about various other aspects. At the same time, at one point of time, overall the employment at national level, at the country level, is it is reducing because of technology. On the other side, we are making 12-hour shift. Contradiction नहीं दिखाई देता है क्या? Instead of 8 hours, we are moving towards 12 hours. Means कम से कम लोगों को employment मिलना चाहिए, ऐसा हम law बना रहे हैं. So such kind of contradictions are there, and that has to be addressed.
I wish to pursue. What you are doing is actually action which some of it which actually should be done by the government itself.
Yeah.
My approach is that the civil society, unions, and others must demand the government to do its own job first. And of course, besides that, the cooperative organization SAYAS that you have set up is excellent, and we should certainly do that. But unless you demand something from some authorities, they don't even feel the need for it. And so that's the approach I'm taking. I may be wrong also completely, but something that I tried in two other aspects of environment. I am an environment activist, so I tried something in that field, and it has worked reasonably well, at least in Bangalore. So I wish to explain all that to you, and let us see how that can be taken forward. But once again, absolutely remarkable, I mean, commendable work that you have done, and the presentation was just extremely impressive. So compliments to you once again, and hoping to meet you soon.
Yeah.
I have a question, Ashutosh.
Please go ahead.
So, Prohit ji, sorry, Arvind ji, ये जो you work with, you work to negotiate better wages, vagera vagera. Is that applicable only to permanent workers, or is that then do non-permanent contract also come under that ambit? Or only the permanent workers are?
Next week you will get a news. More or less, we are signing a very innovative agreement, collective bargaining agreement. In that, we are covering all kind of workers. That is trainee, temporary, contract. We are saying that in this company, nobody should get less than 20,000 rupees wages. Whether he is a permanent, temporary, contract, whatever it may be, whatever name you will give, but the minimum wage for that company should not be less than 20,000 rupees. So that kind of settlement we are signing, and I hope next week you will get that news.
Okay, thank you.
In some of the companies we have I managed to influence the management, their CEO and MD, and improve the service conditions of contract workers as well as the trainee and temporary workers. But that is very in some few companies. We could not go at larger level. Only these are just some examples. But I am of the opinion that there is a need, because for minimum wages, lot of debate we had in 15th Labour Conference in the year 1957. There is a formula based on Ackroyd formula. There is a concept called need-based minimum wages. Now, if you calculate the need-based minimum wages for Pune region, it comes to 21,000 rupees. Based on that, I argued with management and told them that at least 20,000 rupees to milna chahiye. Because for the family of husband, wife, and 2 children, it's a 3 unit, and then there is a basket, or there is a means how much calories they should get, how much money they have to spend for education, for housing, and all that kind of thing. And based on that, I came to a conclusion that 21,000 is the correct level of minimum wage. So based on that, at least at our level, in some of the companies, we are signing such kind of settlement.
These kind of settlements, does the union get involved? Do they have any sort of significant role to play, or is it largely because of your, what is known as plenipotentiary powers that all these things are happening?
There means I'm consultant to union. I'm part of this negotiation. Now there, what we did, because Mr. Bhalwankar also was talking about the technology, what we did for permanent high, I mean, those who are high salaried workers, we suggested them that we should not go for much higher wage increase. Let us give that wage portion to the lower strata, that is contract labor, temporary worker, and you ask for better training to the management. So we are going for training on artificial intelligence, robotics, machine learning, deep learning, and all that kind of thing, so that they will improve their value in future. And on the other side, instead of, because the cost of this training is around 2 lakhs rupees is the minimum,
I
and
see.
the training cost is ranging from 2 lakhs to 5 lakhs. So that cost is taken care by the company, and we have transfer our wage increase. Means earlier the workers were expecting 20,000 rupees wage increase for 4 years. So instead of that, we said that, okay, let us take 15,000, transfer that 5,000 rupees to the contract workers, and you take training and upgrade your skill, so that your value will be 3 lakhs rupees, 2 lakhs rupees per month in future.
And they're
that's
willing to
the-
do that.
Yes.
They're open to that.
Yes,
That's
yes,
heartening.
yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
heartening.
yes.
Yeah.
So that is also one of the possibility to respond to such kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I have a question, Bhupatkar. Can I ask?
Yes.
Yes, please go
Arvind-
ahead. Please go ahead.
Arvindji, is there anything that you are doing for gig workers?
Yes.
You know, all these Ola, Uber, Urban Clap, and this Zomato, you know, who are considered as partners, you know,
Yeah.
and they apparently the government also seems to be coming out with some amendments to cover them. But is there some work that you have done for gig workers, and if possible, could you speak a few words about that?
See, the thing is that all these workers, whether you are a gig workers or unorganized sector workers, means basically the thing is that you don't get the regular income. So there is a fluctuation in the income. That is the one aspect. But that's the reason this cooperative, why we have came to a conclusion that cooperative may be a better structure, because in the union, once you lose the job, you go out of the union. But here in cooperative, whether you are having a job or you don't have a job, you will be part of this cooperative. That's the reason we are developing this whole structure. And I hope that the all such kind of workers, those who are working as a Ola, Uber, or even in some of the IT sector, so all these people can join this cooperative, and that's the reason this cooperative. I hope that this cooperative will play a very important role in future.
This will be the last question.
Okay. No, so meaning will the cooperative also, will it file like PILs on behalf of employees and do collective bargaining? Like, for instance, if you have a lot of Zomato employees, then if there are unfair practices and things like that, will the cooperative take such things up also?
See, the thing is that at present, I don't know whether they will be a part of collective bargaining or not. At present, we are not thinking from
Okay.
this cooperative point of view,
Okay.
because for that unions are there. But unfortunately, it's very difficult for the unions to organize them. Unions don't have that kind of vision. At the same time, they don't have that kind of infrastructure. They don't have any that kind of system. Now, here, because of technology, we are going to manage this.
Okay.
Without technology, it's not
You're
possible.
not possible.
Huh.
Yeah.
For this cooperative, this will be the first cooperative in the world. What I say, why I'm saying this, because such kind of transparent cooperative you will not get anywhere in the world. कल cooperative का क्या क्या खर्चा हुआ, that you can see on your app. All the decisions will be taken through voting. No decision is given to the management. Management cannot take any decision.
Okay.
Decisions will be taken place through voting. So there are no possibility of corruption. यानी जो reverse auctioning भी जो होगा ना L1, L2, L3, all 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs, 50 lakhs members can see that auction on their telephone. So, and this cooperative is not charging any fee. This cooperative is not taking any commission. Whatever is the saving, because this cooperative will run on the share capital का जो interest रहेगा, उसके ऊपर ये पूरा cooperative run होगा.
Okay.
So for
right,
10 lakhs people, our manpower planning is 90 people will manage the 10 lakhs members.
Oh, it's
And that is because of technology.
technology. Okay, thank you.
Right. Okay. So, may I request Vipul Bhai to sum up and close the proceedings? Vipul Bhai.
थैंक यू वेरी मच अरविंद जी, आपने काफी इन डेप्थ रिसर्च किया है ये सब्जेक्ट्स के ऊपर, और आप हमें फ्यूचर में भी गाइड करते रहेंगे ऐसा हम आशा रखते हैं। और आपका जो भी डिटेल्स है अगर हो सके तो आप आशुतोष जी से शेयर कीजिए, तो ताकि सब लोगों को, हमारे बाकी जो मेंबर आज एब्सेंट है, लाइक हमारी सेक्रेटरी मेंबर है जो वो तो आज है नहीं, जनरल सेक्रेटरी, पर कोई बात नहीं, आप अगर अपनी डिटेल शेयर करेंगे तो बाकी लोगों को पता चल जाएगा, और आप हमें गाइड करते रहेंगे ऐसा हम आशा रखते हैं। काफी इनोवेटिव प्रोडक्ट आपका ऐप जो बना है, मतलब वो काफी इनोवेटिव लग रहा है, उसके ऊपर भी थोड़ा रिसर्च करेंगे कि क्या कर सकते हैं, कैसा कर सकते हैं, और हाउ दो और लोग कैसे उसमें जुड़ सकते हैं, उसके लिए भी हम लोग मदद करेंगे। और हमारा जो मैनिफेस्टो बनाने में ये इसमें से कैसे पॉइंट्स उठा सकते हैं वो हम लोग देखेंगे कलेक्टिवली। और थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर पार्टिसिपेटिंग टुडे, थैंक यू एवरीबॉडी फॉर पार्टिसिपेटिंग। और आपने कुछ सवाल पूछ के भी काफी क्लैरिफाई करने की कोशिश की, थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर दैट आल्सो।
Only I can assure you that by end of February 2022, our software and the system will be ready. So we have already started working on that. More or less 20 days is over. We have developed the testing time will be, because when we are going to test this software, so we require minimum 1 lakh member. So by end of December, we hope that we will cross 1 lakh members. And we will go for testing in the month of Jan, and in Feb the whole system will get launched, and then you can use the app. And this cooperative is not like this that you will communicate to the cooperative. You can directly approach the bank and take the loan through your app. No need for any kind of application to cooperate. So that's a direct connection between insurance company and the individual. So that's the beauty of this technology.
So very good.
Right.
So shayad producer and the consumer will be on one platform, and there is no possibility of commission agent in between.
Right. So we are nearing our end time now.
Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to have an interaction with all of you people, and whatever we will continue this discussion, and we will continue our learning from one another. And because Bhupatkar, my association with Bhupatkar sir is, I think that for last 20 years, and tremendous respect for him, not because of he was a director of IMDA, but because of he is a very good human being. That's the reason our relationship is there.
Thank you. So we will close with peace, force, and joy for everyone. Peace.
Peace, force, and joy
and
to
joy.
everyone.
to all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Peace,
Very good
force,
session.
and joy.